thinking that the Francophone region also today is attacked, seeing the gruesome attack on lawyers' profession and more arbitrary arrest and detention of political parties, especially leaders of the opposition. Mr. Bless, I want to cue you into this line of reflection to ask you, are you afraid that in the years or months to come, the Francophone region might likely live what the Anglophone region has known in this country? Instability.
For a country to experience instability or stability, which we are crying for today in Northwest and Southwest, is not a day thing. Okay. Now, but
the ingredients put together
remote of these causes will affect the immediate cause. Now, these choked up and pains of anger are boiling up. Now, for us to avoid this, we should have administrators that foresee that they have the mandate to solve issues the way they are. Now, Professor Jacques Famino will say Cameroon is a lost state. Yes, of course. But to pin down lawyers of this amount, of this category, and you judge them without, you sentence them without any judgment, without trial. It is not good.
They refused to speak, and so the judge decided to just read the law according to the crime that they committed.
You have your right. He was in detention. He cannot be a lawyer of himself, right? Now, his lawyer was there.
The Bar Association sent 4 lawyers that did not utter any word. They chose to do a mute or a death appearance before the court, and so the magistrate had no other choice than to rule over the case.
How can you say the magistrate had no other choice? We are in a law state, and Cameroon said they can rejoin your case for 3 times. He was just taken to court today for the first time, right?
Right.
8 p.m., 8 a.m., and he was sentenced. There will be adjoining people cases in this country for more than 11 times. I don't see any bad thing that if he refused to talk, the case should not be adjoined. Frankly speaking, that case should have been adjoined for the next hearing.
Now it's been assumed that all of them, 15, are tracked down and are going to be picked up one after another. Some 2 are already reported behind bars. Do you fear that this attack on lawyer will definitely lead to splintered wounds?
I have heard people say that on social media, that 15 lawyers, some even say 30, are tracked down, but we have not had any official communique from the government.
These 2 other lawyers were captured, invited for a lunch by unidentified gentlemen in civilian attire, and then being brigaded by policemen. You can't say that they were not tracked down.
Mr. Moderator, to say that lawyers have been tracked down, and even by some people even qualify it by the government.
We will not go by social media standards.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That I have heard what you are saying, but I don't want to comment on it because.
You tell my sources.
I want to. Bring forward your sources.
No, Professor Moise Kamto was one of those who came out and decried the fact that lawyers have been attacked. In his own court, he quoted 4 lawyers that are top officials of his political party.
Those are ideologies. Those are directing ideologies to his party. What I'm saying is that lawyers might be targeted, but the government has not made any official statement, and it will be.
Do you expect the government to make any official statement targeting lawyers?
It will be too much to accuse the government. To even say that the government is targeting 30 lawyers, it will be too much to say. It will be too much. So I don't want to go by social media. Whatever the case, I believe that lawyers have the right, like every other Cameroonian, to justice. And I believe that procedures concerning lawyers and every other Cameroonian should be just. And I believe that, like my co-panelist said, their case would have been adjourned. But I also believe that it's not a good practice that lawyers go to court and decide to stay mute.
Because they don't know what they are being summoned for. They don't know the mistake they have done. All what they know is that they appear before, they constitute a defense counsel for a colleague, and after, they are being tracked down.
But normally, when someone is summoned, lawyers always have the culture to ask why their clients are being summoned. Did they ask?
Of course. all cases were litigated to, permit the judge either adjourn the case, the preliminary case before the brutalization and batters on lawyers. But when they had failed that case now, all the lawyers that were present in the court that day are being considered to have insulted the magistrate, and so they are being haunted. And I'm asking you, do you see, because the Cameroon Bar Association have taken a stand already that is not very good, and in the days ahead, if they start the implementation of it, I can tell you, my dear friend, a lot is going to happen.
I see
consequentially.
That, yes, I see that there'll be grave consequences. But so, what I was saying and what I'm still saying is that lawyers, like every other Cameroonian, deserve justice. They have a right to justice. So, whatever case that pertains to them, even more as lawyers, should be just.
After that case, let's talk about freedom of expression and liberty in Cameroon. We have recently seen, even in the Northwest, especially after the Kumba Makaba Act, where some 7 students went down fit, some people, civil society-wise and politicians, lead some street campaign. And we started asking ourselves, have Cameroon started giving freedom for people to go and march on the streets, when we know that political parties, especially those of the opposition, have filed in petition to go and demonstrate on streets, and all have been given an unfavorable response? To start with, Mr. Bless, I want to ask you, can we say Cameroon is that land where people can express their grievances on the streets freely?
Yes, that has been happening in Boya. But the problem is, I don't know, at times it gets worse. As I used to tell you, the only condition that the government does not want is to loot that property. When you want to have your free march, the SDO or the DO will give you your pass and your march.
The CRM reported to have filed more than 10 letters for manifestation, and all were turned down.
Yes. Now, those are political parties, right? And their modus operandum cannot be seen as a good gesture. And what do you want the SDO to do? Again, the DO can be a practitioner in politics, and he can be in a CPDM. And what do you expect him to do as a human?
Is it right for an administrator to become a political actor?
It is not right. It is not right. But for political manifestation, I will tell you the DO will refuse to give that authorization for them to march, which is very wrong.
Are you okay?
Which is very wrong. And I want to I wish to tell Cameroon government that, I wish to tell Cameroonians that what happened with the lawyers in Northwest and Southwest has kept us into this deep shit
for 4 years.
Now the same thing is still happening in Douala, and the same mistakes are being made. The same mistakes that were being made in this our 2 English-speaking region is still made. It's still repeating themselves.
That is
in Douala.
battering lawyers and humiliating them.
You know the lawyer are the mouthpiece of the population, and if you start taking a lawyer to jail, to prison, with this kind of judgment, I bet you the days further may be cloudy.
No, we don't pray so.
We don't pray so.
Mr. Ngate, I'll be back to you. I'll be back to you, Mr. So, Mr. Ngate, I still want to ask you. We are seeing this justice with multi-velocity at a time when it is the CPDM or when it favors the government. They allow people on the streets. My 16 recently people march, celebrating Bongo Square people march, and all that in the watchful eye of the government and security arm. But if he had been a politician or a political party, it could have been systematically quenched. Do you see this multidisciplinary or multi-velocity judgment as what we call fairness and transparency in judgment?
The right to do a peaceful demonstration is for everyone. Everyone has the right to do a peaceful demonstration. But remember also, the local administrator has the right in informed judgment to determine if this particular so-called peaceful demonstrations, because most of the times, no, Mr. Moderator, we have seen political parties come claim with so-called peaceful demonstration, and it ends up not being peaceful. We have seen it. And just to tell you that not only those who favor the government have been given rights. In 2017, the SDF marched.
Where?
In Boya. The chairman was here himself. And the SDF...
It was not a permitted march. He said they took upon themselves to march as the chairman marched in Boya, and it was at the early hours of the Anglophone crisis.
Were they
I do
battered?
remember.
Were they battered?
Of course, yes. They were blocked at the parliamentary flags for us. We were on the field and we report only facts. We still have images in our... I might call on the broadcaster to bring some images if you care.
I know that you report only facts. But I just want to say that it's a right for everyone to march.
Right.
And the local administrator has the right to, he's reserved the right to determine who to give the authority or the opportunity to march if he judges that it will not affect the serenity of the nation. True. To say that it's real cause for concern, because at times most peaceful marches end up in, like he said, looting at times and only cause some kind of troubles.
All the peaceful march that we have seen in this country, notably in Douala recently with the September the 22nd CRN peaceful march to oust His Excellency President Paul Biya, were attacked from the policemen. The Cameroon Renaissance Movement militant went on the street with peace plan and most of all dressed in white shirts. We haven't seen any of them with a stone or neither a white bullet. So I want to say, is it not the government orchestrating the so-called violence or peace, public disorder?
No, I don't think that the government is orchestrating public disorder.
By sending policemen to go and attack peaceful manifestators?
No. Remember that violence is not by physical. You need to be around those who are marching. And at times policemen go and stand there. There are things in which someone will say that will require a policeman to crack down on.
Do you have a voice audio of what somebody said somewhere, Mr. Ngate?
I don't have a voice audio. How do you expect, for example, let me ask you, Cameroon is a rule of law, and we know that to declare someone president when he's not president is a crime. And
we saw Donald Trump saying that he will win this election by all means in the United States. He even went further to say that they should stop election. He has won. Didn't you hear that?
Forget that, Mr. Moderator. It's a crime to announce. It's a crime to be marching and singing that someone is president when there's a constitutional elected president.
We saw that in Gabon. We saw that in Burkina Faso. It is every democracy. Our law does not prohibit that.
Mr. Moderator, that's not democracy.
After that, I think we will take the next topic. Mr. Ngate, we will be back. Of course, time is our problem now. We will take the next topic, which is talking about the US and the UK has recently made pronunciation as far as the 1961 agreement between former Southern British Cameroon and the West Cameroon is concerned. And we are asking ourselves how effective or what is the weight of this new position